And I cannot use my key 100. That's just sad. Anyway, where are we going, fellas?
Well, I was thinking of trying to fly first, maybe. But
So,
yeah, I'll fly.
you guys are all in aircraft.
Huh?
All three of you are in the aircraft already.
Yep.
Okay. I think I'm gonna start from the left line. I will move across B. I think. I'm not sure. Never mind. I spawned right.
Oh, you weren't gonna join us in the air?
Nah, I am unable to use my P100. What am I facing? America, Soviet, French, Swede. Are they using in-game communication system?
Just hit T.
Are they using the in-game chat? I mean, voice chat.
Oh, you have to set it up in the settings and turn it on.
Yeah. That's evasion. What happened to him?
Well,
Defend the base. Attention to the designated grid zone. Affirmative. Thank you. Move after
Yeah, somebody right above me.
yes.
What?
No, you surprised me.
I surprised you in front of you?
Yeah.
Okay, so I make cookies. Stay home. Make my favorites.
Who said update him?
the designated grid square.
I don't know, it's running slow because there's too much stuff on it. Did you delete any of it?
I remember.
On me.
You just, you just,
On me. We've captured most of the strategic zones.
I will have to readjust my camouflage. My plus blocking my scope. I can't see a thing.
Guide on me.
Kill, are you still in the air?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm still here, Sheena.
Are you like floating above the map right now?
I was AFK for a second. There you go, it's downloading.
Uh,
And then it should come up
I
in a few minutes and then let me know whatever it comes up on the screen. Yeah, let me know.
Attention to the designated grid square. Yes. Move after me.
Where do I look? The top?
What's up?
Where should I look to see if it come up?
I don't
On the
know.
top?
No, it'll just come up on the screen.
Attention to the designated
Yeah.
grid square. Affirmative. Need backup. Affirmative. Attention to the map. Follow me. Attention to the designated grid zone. Move after me. Attention to the map. Affirmative. On me.
Yeah, it's gonna take a minute. It's downloading 2 gigabytes. Possibly more. It's not gonna change anything. The device's download is limited by the device itself.
Attention to the map.
You better ask questions. I'll look at you awkwardly. Um,
Enemy forces have captured that zone. Weapons release.
I'll
Guide on me.
I'll take corn on the cob and
Move after me. On me. We have most of the zones.
piece of chicken. Oh
Weapons
boy,
release.
I guess we're not.
That's you.
Attention to the designated grid square. Follow me. Follow me. Move after me. Cover me.
Unable to tell who's down here.
Attention
Use your binoculars.
grid zone.
Trying to.
Heading to the base.
Jesus, Sheena, it sounded like you fucking punched your microphone.
I'm sorry, Kim.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I usually don't have good time like this in sim music. What attacking me? Có nhiều.
Jesus, Sheena. You hear you screaming, it sounds like you got knocked the fuck out. It sounds like your whole room just collapsed.
Need cover! Guide on me. Most of the zones are under control. Need cover! Let's keep the pressure on. Victory is close. Defend the sea point.
Yeah, why are they trying to like directly behind the 820? Noise.
Attention to the map. On me! Move after me. Attention to the designated grid zone. Follow me.
Sheena. All I heard was you screaming. It sounded like your whole room exploded.
What happened? Where's all the aircraft gone?
Cover me.
Ooh, Q is using a broom bar.
Follow me.
Ah,
Defend the sea point.
I see something coming with all that black smoke behind it.
On me.
What that's what 109? What this thing over here?
Defend the A point. Roger that. Attack the A point.
both, not friendly.
Enemy forces have captured a zone. Enemy forces have captured a zone.
Look like the A20 is fully repaired.
Need cover. Affirmative. Defend the A point. Attention to the designated grid square.
Ah, this looks good. Huh! Eye for eyes.
Need cover. Defend the A point. Follow me. Move after me. Attention to the map. Well done. Guide on me. Attention to the designated grid square. Keep it up and victory will be ours. We've captured most of the strategic zones. Move after me.
Enemy on B. Hiếu, quét chưa à?
Guide on me. Guide on me. Somebody, cover me. Attention to the map.
I'm going to the hill near B.
Most of the zones.
I need my high ground. must win, boys.
All planes, return to
And
base.
we won. Good job, Kim.
Thank you, Sheena. I didn't do anything, but thank you.
They go boop.
I did laugh about it sounding like your room exploded. I did bomb that one guy, though.
I think the game want me to use the rank 3 vehicle for the aircraft.
It should show you at the top, because there's always two of them. There's one with a list of planes and tanks, and there's another one with tanks but a suggestion of a BR range.
Key 109. The Japanese duck. Processing operation. I think it's gonna take a long time. Never mind. Ready? What's happened to tax?
You stop.
Yeah.
User entered your channel.
Set. It's Mr. Set.
Yes. Yes.
Hello, Seth.
Hello.
Oh, Seth is on.
Yeah.
Birthday. Late birthday.
Michelle said happy late birthday.
Might you tell me today your birthday gone?
Yeah, I told her you had a birthday that passed.
Uh,
Did I do anything with you? I don't remember. Everything's a blur.
nope.
Oh wait, you weren't on, were you?
I was on a little bit, but not much. No.
Well, I guess I owe you. So about the McDonald's app, I think a lot of those points timed out or something. I think some of them timed out.
Well,
But either way, I used the last of them. But there was less whenever I went today than I seen when I looked before, so I think a lot of them timed out.
yeah, they probably did.
Yeah. I was like, oh boy, it's time to go again finally. Then I go, and it's just like, wait a minute. Oh well. I still got to get something to eat out of it, so I'm happy.
Tell him I say I really appreciate them, and I appreciate him to give it to you, so I could be able to get something from it to eat.
Michelle says she likes farts. No, I'm kidding. She said that wait, say it again. You appreciated that. You
Tell him,
appreciated
tell
that.
him I said, let him listen. I appreciate you doing that for Matthew because it also helped me, and I'm really, really, really appreciated it.
Uh, that's.
I think he said that's
Mm-hmm.
nice.
Thank you.
He's kind of like me. I have a hard time responding to certain things.
Okay. Well, tell him he did good. He must remember that one. Understood that one.
She said you sacrificed your quota for today. You get to live. Nah, she didn't say that.
Why you telling him that? I
Because
didn't
I
say
don't do
that.
so well with sappy stuff either.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do so well with certain things either. My
Yep.
brain it itches.
Oh, cute. Did you hear about the new Intel dedicated graphics cards?
Hold on a sec. Sheena, you want
What?
to do air sim or do you want to do tank sim again?
I don't mind if we do another tank sim. We don't do this a lot at all. Oh wait, I need to do something. I can see shit with my camouflage.
What's the Intel integrated cards doing, Seth? Are they blowing up? Are they feeding people?
No, they're just about to come out in the U.S.
They're what?
They're about to come out in the U.S. The new Intel dedicated GPUs.
They've been
You,
making
the,
uh, they've been making crappy onboard dedicated GPUs for a while, so I
it, yeah, apparently the dedicated are better, and the the
well, of
crummy,
course a dedicated is somewhat better. It's not
yeah,
slapdash, assumedly, but I'm gonna assume that it's not gonna be any good anyway.
they stole a bunch of NVIDIA uh, engineers to make it happen.
Uh huh.
It actually looks pretty good for everything that's been said right now.
Yeah, well, I
At
heard people
least,
say that about AMD as well, and look how that's turning out.
yeah. Well, see, Intel can cheat a little bit.
How does Intel cheat?
They can utilize. They have it where it'll utilize the what do you call it?
The CUDA
The
cores?
GPU. Yeah, where it'll utilize the CPU as well. They also have CUDA cores.
Yeah, I thought you'd say that. You ready, Sheena?
I'm ready. Hit the start. What happened to Tax and his friend? Are they alive?
Well, Tax was supposed to practice flying a little bit ago, but apparently he didn't. So he done forgot everything, I guess. I don't know. Ugh. Hell It Loose had its update, Seth.
Oh boy.
I put them there, it fit better right here. Right, more space.
I broke wind.
Hmm?
I ate pizza.
This thing don't come on yet.
And see it. Here we go.
See it done?
Are you also in the air?
No, I'm next to you.
I see you though. Are you in that duck? Are you in the duck?
No, no, there's no duck here.
You know what's the duck meaning here, man.
Attention to the map.
This isn't the duck.
It's not quacking hard enough.
Yeah, it's not shaped like a duck. It doesn't look like a duck.
So
And
it
it
don't
also
mean
doesn't
for
quack.
10.
It doesn't.
It doesn't
What?
quack like a duck.
Yeah.
Oh, 110. Yeah, 110.
Yeah.
Because
That's what I was about to say.
I only running on the runway, so
It also. Oh, wait a
I
minute. Wait a minute.
I can barely tell, man.
Wait a minute. Does it have an insane doctor? Because a quack can also be a doctor. So does it have an insane doctor on board?
The pilot is the insane doctor.
Okay, it could be a duck. Is he trying to prescribe you snake oil? Because that could be a good sign.
He's trying to insert virgin blood into my bloodstream.
Oh. Mm.
He wants
Same
to
blood
see if
type?
I turn into one of them, whatever that means. Go, Sheena, go.
I got hit.
Sound like you said ping. Sheena, how long's it been since you've flown like this?
Dropping. Dropping.
That's one kill.
Sheena, how long's it been since you've flown like this? Sheena,
Ah,
I was asking Sheena, how long has it been since you've flown like this? Because you seem like you're doing pretty well.
I'm just being careful, man. The last time I
Hold on.
fly in sim is like last year. Somewhere last year. I think.
Returning to the base.
What?
Returning to the airfield.
Alright, show me now. Try not to run into the trees. It says it's done. Congratulations, you've gave birth to an update. Sheena, you should probably head back to base. You're leaking like crazy.
Yeah.
The enemy will win.
You should come give me some sugar, Curie. Come give me some Curie, Sheena lovin'. Sheena's gonna give me some Sheena lovin'. Give me a big old smooch.
Leaking oil.
Drifting away. You're gonna do what?
Looking at the read up so much work too.
Good evening.
Hello, John. John finally decided to show his face.
Shut up, I just got out of the shower.
Piece of shit.
Well, fuck off.
I'm just fucking with him.
I got anything to earlier smoke just so we can kind of fucked over, dude. Screwed until the fucking first tip.
Why?
They're always around, they don't fucking to share. I do, so. As far as my shit, my stash goes first, and they don't share with theirs.
Oof.
Bastards, man.
Where did my rear landing gear gone?
There, up Q's ass. Where it should be.
Q? Why did you take my rear landing gear?
You explain yourself, and what up, Seth?
No, I was just joking with you,
Clear
John.
all, clear all, clear all, right?
No, that gets rid of all of them, but yeah.
Operation failed. Head back to base.
One more match, Q.
Are you going to bed, Sheena?
About you. I can do one more.
Well, I'm sorry I haven't been able to focus on. I've been waiting a while to get to see you. I'm sorry.
I should have get me ice cream when I was
You can't say it,
Yeah.
but I wanted to play with someone today. Sent you an invite earlier, but you didn't join me.
Can you go to Walmart to put some ice cream?
Maybe. Sheena, do you have the key 83?
Key 83.
Yeah.
I do, but I don't have in the drill slot that I'm using. Key 83. Which is it?
Really don't want to feel like picking right now.
43 or 83, Q?
83.
Oh, yeah, I do.
Well, I was
Why?
wondering,
What are we doing?
did
Anything?
you wanna fly it?
Sure. I mean,
Well,
do I even have any crew for it? I don't remember getting a crew for it. No, I don't have any crew for T83.
Senor.
I'm
No
sorry,
habla
Sheena,
aquí.
that I
No
haven't
habla
been able to
aquí.
pay attention. Michelle came in and was asking me a bunch of stuff and things.
Old ass.
So I have the J5N1.
Did you hear me?
Yeah.
Finally.
It's the
There's
J5N1 again.
There's some some life coming from Seth's side.
You don't have the Key 83?
I have it, but I don't have the pilot to fly it.
You don't want to put a crew in it? What you doing with this?
Nah, I'm gonna use the Take-Fi instead. Oh wait, which is too
Mommy?
expensive.
I'll save it for later.
Huh?
I'll have it later. Thank you. Anyways, yeah, I was helping Michelle do something on her phone, so sorry I wasn't able to pay much attention, Sheena. I've been waiting for like 30 weeks to get to see you.
No, is it that long?
Well, if
Wasn't
you,
you just out not like literally yesterday?
yeah, but I wasn't able to really focus. And I wasn't feeling good, remember, John? And I had to work. And I don't think it was yesterday. I don't remember. Anyway, Sheena, I was just thinking of something. We could do another tank sim one if you wanted to, or um,
Let's just do another tank sim build.
I'm interested in that plane that they're. Oh shoot! I'm interested in that plane that they're pulling out.
Oh, that smells. I like good pussy. Just kidding.
Yep, I'm ready.
Okay, hold on. Getting all these messages. I think Nordic might still be mad at me or something. He ain't talked to me in like 2 days. No vehicle available, huh? Sheena, what are we doing?
Air sim. Since you want to try out that K80 something, right? K83.
Okay. What BR was it again? 6.0?
I think it's the 6.0.
Yeah, it's 6.0.
No, no available vehicle. What are we doing? Why I'm not having available
It's
vehicle?
because I thought you said tank sim, that's why.
Uh, yeah, we're doing air sim here.
This is the only one that was rank 4 that was available right now, so. Well, this is going to be an experience. I think Nordics might be mad at me.
What did you do?
Yesterday, Hammer wanted to spend some time with me because he's going to be gone for a short time. And I posted the railroads, and he joined. And he sent me a message saying that he's tired of Hammer hot micing. And I told him to just turn him down or mute him, and then he left, and he ain't said nothing to me since. I guess we'll just go to the airfield 3 then, right?
Airfield 3.
A6MC?
Yeah.
This thing handles pretty well in RV, so see how I ain't flown this in sim before, so I don't even think I had the appropriate. I don't even have my proper lineup to do this with because I got confused and just said fuck it and left it alone. But I do have my bomber here though. I think it'll be fine because I got the J6K1 and the A7M2 here with me, and the B7. You didn't see that.
Well, that's you?
What do you mean?
Well, that's you with the broken landing gear?
You didn't see me? You didn't look to your right?
No, I see someone in front of me with the broken landing gear falling apart in the air.
The answer is yes. I was not paying attention, sir. Please forgive me for my transgression.
What the hell was that?
Wow, sad. That almost sounds like due to just some insubordination there.
The Imperial
vehicle
lost
you
enough
just
metal already, so stop wasting
What?
material for the aircraft.
Remember we were talking yesterday about the incompetent captain?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Q was being a bit incompetent just now.
You mean Sheena was
Lost
being
me.
incompetent? I was sitting next to him for like 12 seconds, and I cut the engine
Yeah.
on, sat there, and then slowly started to pull out in front of him in the takeoff, and then I went to full throttle to do the takeoff. And then he's like, "Who's that in front of me?" And I was like, "Sheena."
Why are you missing a piece?
How do you not know that's me? So I'm just playing with him because he wasn't paying
I didn't
attention.
expect you to take off that quickly.
Yeah, man, this thing's a beast. I love it. I
Baby,
love this.
go.
I really like this plane. I ain't used it in sim yet, but I really like this plane. It took off really easily too. I really like this plane, the Key 83.
Is it as fast as the F-82?
I don't know. It's an interceptor. I don't know how
Interceptors
fast
are
the
pretty
F-82 is. I haven't used it.
Really?
I unlocked it and I skipped it.
Interceptors are meant to be on the quick side, so not really armored.
This one has some pretty good armor. Since it's an interceptor for bombers, it has
I sighted something about my altitude on the left low. Not sure if it's friendly.
Is that me? Look at the marker I put down.
No, too. I didn't say they didn't have any. I said they were a little bit lacking in the department of it.
You said that they specifically said. Yeah, I know, John. I know what you mean. You're not. I don't disagree with you. This one's a twin engine one though, so it can afford to carry a little more weight.
Like a mosquito.
Yeah, it is thin, but it is armored though. It's got it's got a plate right in front of you.
Yeah, but
Okay,
the
I'm
mosquito
gonna
didn't
check
have any
that
armor.
guy
It
over
was
there.
made out of wood from some guy in a garage.
Just sanding it away. Sanding away.
Hey, the wood they were using was really good wood, okay? Back off. Very durable wood, too.
It didn't really matter. It was a good plane.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Very,
Sheena, I
very
do see
good
something. Put your marker down.
I'm not
I'm
knocking it.
telling this
It's
one
just funny.
aircraft here. I know what is it.
I need to know where you are. Put your marker down.
That wasn't even American.
Okay,
No. I know.
2K.
okay, that is you.
I'm 2K in the
It's
air right
one of
now.
the few British planes that were actually good, probably because it
Right.
didn't have any weight to it.
Right?
Well, I'm higher than you. And two, that is you that I seen. I was approaching a dot, and I didn't know if it was you or... Because I saw two dots, and they were closing in on each other. But then the other one of them disappeared.
I think it'll be 20 something.
Yeah, I was higher than you. I gained a lot of speed and altitude.
It's an enemy.
I think that's you, but I'm not sure.
I'm engaging.
Oh, it's an AI. Well, I lost track of you.
All the bullshit my family gives us as it is about, oh, we want to start a business, but they're all lacking. Some of the family members already got businesses in states, they're restaurants.
Sheena, where are you?
They want
John's
to do other
barbecue.
things. Fuck you. Bet your ass I'll be barbecuing like a mofo. Everybody be dying for a fucking John steak.
Thought
big
you were a
old
barbecue,
John.
not a steakhouse.
Call it the big old John.
Yes, but a true steak is made
I
off
got
of
him
an
on fire.
open fire
Oh, I
Mentioned
see.
out.
Yeah.
and an open air
Sterling.
grill. Okay?
Are you bleeding?
Won't be as good as Texas Roadhouse.
It's going down. My engine is
Better.
gone too. I'm gliding back to base.
John, the answer would be nothing is better than Texas Roadhouse. Have you had their rolls?
Yes.
I can't compete with that.
Just so you
Ah.
know, they went out of business out here in Colorado.
Enemy.
All their
That's another
their
enemy.
shops got shut down here. Your
There's a
business,
B-51.
you know, went out of business.
Ow, where?
They're very
Oh.
popular where I am.
Yeah. Not
6
here
hour
anymore.
lines.
No, I'm
That's
saying
why
where
they,
do you see him?
They got closed down here.
Oh, they're
Yeah,
6
when you're
hour
nearby.
lines.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they don't have enough restaurants to.
Mm-hmm.
Sad. They're really good though, and I like their rolls.
Like, I've had their steaks, I had all that. I make a bigger and a better and better, meaner fucking steak than they can. I mean, I
No,
know they
I'm not
never
following you,
prep
Kil.
their steaks.
That's a
hours
B-51.
ahead.
Just above my
Make them
altitude.
very, very, very fucking tender.
They
Where
should
you
be
don't
below you,
take a
Kil.
knife, you just take your really your fork and do it that way for cutting. That's how my steak come out.
Come on. Are you
Sheena,
engaging?
you keep confusing the shit out of me, Sheena. You're like, oh, there's a P-51 right below you. Look below me, there's nobody under me.
Due to my own
Even
skills
I'm-
at cooking all that shit, my sister's like, why don't you
I'm
work
trying
for
to figure out
In-N-Out
how to
and show
help
them how to really
you.
cook
Now I'm just more
potatoes?
confused and frustrated. Because he shot you down, didn't he?
No, he did not.
Well, I see somebody over here, so I'll just go to that one. I think that's the one you were trying to tell me about.
Family either wants me to go into the restaurant business or into politics. I'm gonna go fuck off for like here right about now. Restaurant business is politics.
I see 2 dots. So if that friendly. No, that's a lot of dots, so can't be you.
Oh, I see. I'm being followed.
I'm cooking, so I don't
Coming.
incorporate technically is the Asian or Asiatic style.
I was diving down to where I could try to find this fucker. I saw circling, and it looked like he disappeared. And I turn around, and he's on my tail. I'm too far.
Is he high?
He can't.
Yeah. Yep, I see him.
I'm safe though. I'm out of range of his guns, but it doesn't stop him from trying.
No offense to Sheena and Mato over there, but Asians tend to keep their cooking skills to themselves.
Yeah, Sheena, you bastard. Share some of that with us.
He's firing.
It's not on the, like I say, it's no offense to him because it's not the males, it's usually the females. Since males technically are not allowed in the kitchen in Asiatic cultures.
Some, not all.
Well, Sheena has enough trauma of slippers.
True, some. Actually, a good amount of them do.
This dragon looks fun.
Here you go. I lost sight of the dude. Where did he go?
That's because he's above you.
Islanders,
You stalled out underneath him.
don't think you'd be stepping into the kitchen without a fucking spatula whacking you in the head.
But I'm following him right now.
Hitting me, you damn dragon.
Hit me harder. Even the one old, the good old pontoon.
I know, Rathalos, man.
Oh,
I missed my shot, I think.
hey, monster still?
Could have sworn it was gonna hit.
Yeah. I have a lot of monsters I gotta kill, John. I need to
No.
exterminate their entire race.
But you said Rathalos, I'm like, isn't this supposed to be a new one? More added shit? Better
Yeah.
stuff?
There's some new and there's some
And-
old.
Then why the fuck is this so same monsters?
There's some
Some
new
are-
and there's some old, that's why.
Yeah.
That's kind of a classic Monster Hunter thing. They always have some same ones. Apparently, from what I've heard.
Which is weird because...
Is he down?
He's
I don't think
leaking.
so. No, in the kill feed.
I got him bleeding.
No reason to do that, but okay.
I pretty much energy trapped him, I think. He's being forced to keep maneuvering in a P-51, and I'm just completely just out going.
Nice.
Oh, I forgot to drop my bombs. This thing can carry 250-kilogram bombs. I forgot. I haven't dropped them yet. Where are you again? I'm over here.
Guide on me.
Sheena, are you at our airfield?
No.
Oh, you're next to me somewhere.
I'm above you, I think.
Yeah, you're 1500.
$1,500, he's rich.
Meters.
I don't know.
Sheena, I see something to the back left, about 8 o'clock. I think
8
it's
o'clock?
I think it's a bomber and something else above it.
I'm unsure, but we can go take a look.
Oh yeah, one of them's got to be a bomber. It's
Also, is that you diving?
it's northeast.
Guide on me. Move after me.
Damn it! I hate it when the computer can't keep up with how fast my fingers are moving, and it makes me shoot my guns. I don't know.
Okay, I'm gonna give you a ticket for speeding.
Whoop whoop.
What, speeding my
Pull over.
fingers?
Yeah.
This is the game police. Pull over.
I'd
I
very
think
type
something
it
chasing
fast.
our friendly bomber at E3.
Maybe. Or it could be the escort. Nope, that's definitely something going after him. I see him like climbing like crazy. That's an enemy. You should go after him. If you want to. I'm gonna try to go after this bomber.
Engaging that fighter.
I'm converting my speed and altitude. And I'm gonna get an attack vector on him. Ah, shit, he knows.
Ha! It's an AI though.
Oh, good job.
I blow his tail off.
Yeah, he's not recovering from that. Yeah. I'm gonna land.
Sighted something directly east.
I gotta land.
Returning to the base.
I might have taken barely any damage from that bomber, but I still need to land to get some. I got a fuel leak. I'll send you the footage later, Sheena. You're gonna kiss me.
Man, we are outnumbered 2-5.
You can do it.
Yeah, but we haven't got shut down yet. Dude, did you see how I was handling that P-51?
I did not get to see much action after I lose the guy.
Oh yeah, I seen what happened was that you zoom climbed trying to chase him, and I
Yeah.
don't know if you stalled out or if you turned.
I missed it probably. Like after you goes diving straight up. I mean, go straight up in the air. I don't see anything.
It looked
Friendly.
it looked like you pulled down because you thought he was under you, but he wasn't. He was still above you. Oh no! I'm gonna crash him. No.
Oh no! Now you die one.
No, he didn't actually kill me, Sashina. I was going to land.
And you grass.
Well, I didn't crash. What happened was I was going over the airfield and I kind of zoned out and I
Yeah.
started drifting to the side.
Oh no.
And then I started to rotate a little bit to try to slow down, to help me slow down. And then I drifted worse. And then I went completely over off the side of the runway. And I forgot to put my throttle back up,
Uh,
and then I clipped my wing on a tree. I tried to get level. I tried to get some speed back, and I spun out and hit the ground because my right wing got really damaged from the tree.
Idiots will be idiots, right?
Yeah, John, you tell him. Now tell me you like my arm here. My. Alright, Sheena, where are you now?
oh shit.
Move after me.
Looks like you made it. That guy that was on the P-51 that left the match, he's probably one of those people that think the P-51 could outmaneuver everything instantly in all situations, and be super fast.
Dude, that's you?
Guide on
Yeah.
me.
Green engine, so probably yeah.
I said yeah.
I did not hear that.
Anyways, my brain got confused. I could have took a couple of them down, but my brain
Friendly?
got confused.
Are they friendly? No?
No,
That's the Su-6, right?
those are the enemy attackers. Yeah, those are Su-6s. They're fucking Russians.
Man, you're so fast.
Yeah, I'm not even spaded yet.
What the hell?
Twin engine interceptor.
Nice. Two more. Are you smoking though?
Oil leak.
I'm getting an oil leak real bad too.
I noticed. That's how I figured out that was you behind them and not an escort. Because I'm like, well, Sheena probably got on their tail. They probably took some shots at him, so he's leaking. I see another enemy. I see a plane to the north.
I see something in the north too. Oh shit. Wait.
Yeah.
I'm trying to bargain with the guy, but his chat, he has his chat's probably not working. I've updated Borrowed Trauma for you, Seth, because I know that we enjoyed playing around with that and some other stuff. I've been having a lot of fun messing around with jets here and there, Seth, whenever I get on work done there sometimes. Are you proud of me?
I guess.
Seth doesn't know if he's proud of me or not. I don't know how to deal with that.
How fast is this Su-6? I can't even catch up.
It's probably because your engine's dying, Sheena.
He's done it. It's my time.
Engine's just dead weight as well.
Yep.
Once it dies, Sheena just hit the eject button for the engine.
Ah! Say it right! À. Bao nhiêu? Bao nhiêu?
You know, sometimes in those kind of in those formations, I find it helps just to do like side swipes instead of just trying
Yeah.
to like line up right on their tail, because it's harder to, because it's like a smaller target if you do it straight from the tail a lot of the time. You know?
Yeah, I won't be able to see it if I do it like that. At least I'm not giving my kill to anyone. It's fine.
Hmm.
It's all good.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like you only died like that one time anyway.
I think all their team left, except for that one bomber.
Yeah, I was trying to talk to him, but he won't talk to me. I'm still... This chair still doesn't want to rise itself. Putting more pressure on my wrist and stuff. You know, Seth? You hear me?
I guess.
This whole time, my chair wasn't letting me, like, I'll raise it up, but then it'll drop itself back down. So as a result, it puts more pressure on my hands and my wrists to try to use the keyboard and mouse. That's part of why my right wrist, I think that's part of why my right wrist is so fucked up. Like, it was getting so tense, and then I stretched my thumb to try to scratch my back, and then that just, that was the straw, the final straw.
Kill. Where do you think that guy at?
I don't know. I'm going after this bomber formation. You should come with me.
Move after me.
Woo! Woo! Oh wait, I'm not American. Seth, is that your dog?
Mm-hmm.
They have mental deficiencies.
Yeah.
They're special. They have a
Very special.
They come with a very sticker that says "Don't mind me, I'm very special."
Kill, is that friendly bomber on D4 there?
Sheena forever. Yeah, no. The group of bombers flying in a circle are not friendly.
Yep, not friendly. There's one of them just turned away.
I just shot one down too.
Gonna take me a while to climb up.
Took me seconds. Took me seconds to catch him.
Kill, I see something diving up toward me, I think. Where's it? No, that's you.
Probably me.
Victory will be ours. On me.
I'm focusing on.
Yeah, I'm right below you, Kill. I'm seeing this one single engine fighter.
I think
Not
that's
sure what
ours.
chassis.
I think that might be our.
A5.
I have no clue. I just ignore him. Because I remember. No, that's friendly. For some reason, there's this AI fighter just flying in circles for some reason. I don't know why. He's just sitting there. When you fly up to him, he's an ally, so. Try to get into the bombers coming in head on whenever they're coming around, okay? I see you, Sheen. See how they're turning in circles? Try to get them from above and the front if you can. Because they got guns, a lot of guns in the back, and you're gonna get shot down. No, Sheena, I tried to warn you. You didn't listen.
I could not get on it those in time.
What? You started screaming. I can't understand you. I said wait until they turn to face you and then go after them. Don't chase their tail. Because they're in a formation, and two, they're bombers, so they're armed from the rear. They're literally flying in circles, Sheena. All you gotta do is wait for them to come towards you.
Ah,
You want me to narrow them down to 1 or 2 for you? Sheena? Would it help you if I
say
take...
again?
I'm gonna take 2 of them down so that you could take the last 2, okay? I've already injured a couple of them.
One.
Hey, good job. There should be an assist. I think that. Alright, I need to go land. As soon as I drop my bombs on the ground.
Okay, I came a long way.
Huh?
I came a long way.
What do you mean? We were just circling.
No, back then I can't even M6.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you
I
did.
can't even take off, man. Like just barely.
I'm very proud of you. Aren't you glad I helped you take the time to practice? And I didn't chain you down and force you? And I didn't still I didn't ingrain the secret password. I didn't put a safe word.
Alright. Destroy surveillance aircraft at F3, so I'm going there.
Okay, I'm gonna go land.
I think I see it already. After this kill, I'm gonna go land in the heavy lead.
You're gonna leave me all alone. There's no one to help me.
My time running out here. I don't think that's easy to speak English. Do you speak Japanese? Oh wait, this is not Vanguard.
Habla Mexico.
Hola, amigo.
Miso compadre. I forgot this was a tail dragger.
You better not crash.
No, I didn't crash. I leaned whenever I touched down and I was slowed down. I nosed forward, thinking that it was a tricycle configuration, and I just nosed forward and I was like, "Uh-oh," and I just let it go and I just slid with my nose pushed into the runway all the way until I stopped with my tail up in the air, and I'm like, "Oh, that's right. It's a tail dragger."
Easy. Okay, I'm gonna land and then I'm gonna J up.
You J out from me?
The southern sky look clear. You see nothing on my end?
Yeah, I'm gonna pull out the bomber now. I'm gonna land and pull out the bomber. I want to make some money. And this is prime farming real estate right now.
I don't see this CC guy anywhere.
Oh, he's bombing.
He's bombing for sure, but don't see the dude anywhere. On the left, D1. Yeah, they're always friendly. I think I see something. Something in the air. About D4. That better not be the AI again.
Anyways, yeah, Seth. So my share
Ah,
issue has
bloody
been
AI.
adding to my wrist problem, and you know how painful it is to try to use my keyboard and mouse at times.
I'm not even using a keyboard and mouse.
You using controller?
Yeah, I'm using controller for the game
Well,
I'm
that
playing
carries
right
over to
now.
controller because
Gay! Shit is gay! Kidding,
Well,
don't
not
care.
really, because you can just put your controller on your lap and then sit a little
yeah,
farther
well,
away from the keyboard.
yeah, well that carries over, Seth, because my hands are all like my hand is still fucked up.
Mm.
My right hand and wrist is still fucked, and like I'm already feeling like persistent exhaustion and strain on both my hands. And then when I use the controller, it doesn't change much. Whenever I'm using the controller, I end up just like lazily holding it sideways and letting the weight of the controller push the thumbstick forward because it hurts just to keep holding it.
Mm.
Yeah, and in my right hand, I can barely put any pressure on it. I've completely.
Is that you just take off
It
that
still
kill?
ain't gotten. Yeah, that's me. It still ain't got any better from that last one. I mean, who else would it be, Sheena? We're the only ones here. Is that you there, Decker19? It's like, yes, that's me. There's nobody else here. Is that you, Decker19? Yeah, yes, that's me. Right, Sheena?
Uh-huh. Shit,
and
too
then
long.
you spontaneously explodes.
Like that.
The more and more I hear, like, oh, we're going back to the moon. SpaceX and NASA. Right.
And then they select you, and then they put you in there.
I'm
All
like,
right, John.
not even for $1 billion.
Now, John.
That's where
some
chloroform
guy
and paper bags come in handy.
Yes. That's what I was talking about. They
They could try to nab me, but the problem is they will have to kill my dogs, and everyone's going to hear that happening, and then shit's going to hit the fan.
No.
That's what
You're
chloroform them too.
Yeah, that's what a chloroform bomb is for, John. You throw it into the house, poof, and then
I live in an apartment, buddy.
they throw it into the
It's not
apartment.
a house.
They throw it into the apartment, then, John. It goes poof, and then you and your dog wake up in a space capsule at countdown. Bolt it in. 3.
Yeah.
At
Yeah,
3.
they won't be getting me in 1. 2. Government can kiss my ass.
Yeah, that's too bad, John, because you'll be at 3, and they've already chloroformed you, and now they have you tie strapped down. There is no getting out of it.
Alright, I'm checking out. Thanks for the game, Q.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun.
That were good, good
Or
runs.
better yet,
And
John.
instead missing all the
government sends you,
actions.
a bottle of the best whiskey in the world, and it just has a roofie in it. You drink it and go,
Yeah, I don't really do whiskey very often, just so you know.
What about Action Sheena?
yeah, it's the most high dollar whiskey
Set missed
they
all the
possibly
action
can
in
get
here.
you.
It would actually be
Oh
the
my
most,
god, so many people in
most
the lobby.
expensive either
Oh my
rum,
god, Q. I
tequila,
think you better
or
get out of
vodka.
there, man.
They can send you
There's
the most
nobody in here.
expensive rum they possibly could.
That would be pure Caribbean.
There's a lot of
rum.
them on the
Yeah, they send you that,
alive,
John.
alive team.
Spicy
That's
Caribbean
a
rum
lot of them.
is
You
not
better
on
run.
the cheap
You
side.
better get out of there.
It's almost like
Sheena.
getting a good fucking bottle
Sheena.
of wine.
Yeah,
Sheena,
John, they
trust me,
send you
there's
that.
nobody here. I'm looking.
And then there's just a roofie, odorless, tasteless roofie in there. And you're like, hey, look at that! They sent me that.
Sheena,
Why am I in a rocket?
Good night.
what it's telling you is just people that disconnected that did get removed from the list.
User disconnected from your channel.
Oh,
Oh
Sheena.
no.
Right, John?
Now that he's
So
gone.
bye-bye. Yeah, that's fine. I still don't think they'll do that shit in the first place because
Yeah,
we've
but
already got plenty of volunteers.
yeah, they already got plenty of astronauts. But you see, the Navy wanted to send their representative.
But I'm not a representative of the Navy anymore.
Well,
You're the best that
That's-
they've got,
that's-
John. You're coming out of retirement.
yeah.
No.
And they just give you a little hammer, and they say, John, we need you to start testing all the rocks that you see.
They're like,
With that hammer.
but John, we've already licensed a movie, so
About your
Great deed.
your heroic rescue.
Rescue. Rescue for what?
Yeah, rescue for what? Oh, the rescue that's about to happen in about 5. As soon as you get there, don't worry, you'll figure it out.
Yeah, they're gonna be rescuing me? Or am I the one who's going to rescue someone?
You'll see when you get there.
If I don't have a fucking reason to be going, why the fuck are you sending me on? What robots are for?
Yeah, as
These
you're
are
in orbit.
unmanned drones. That's what they're meant for, buddy.
And that's what replaceable monkeys are for too. Wait a second.
I'm not a monkey.
or are you?
Yeah, you realize they glued a tail to you with monkey ears.
Like, so what? I get to fucking change in the middle, at midnight? or something like that, a full moon, and become a giant monster or something.
Oh God, it's happening.
Oh well, that's gonna they're like that's gonna be unfortunate for you in that space capsule.
I have this there's this funny picture that I have, and it's like a Google search that somebody did. It says, "Why can't I stop building shelves?" And it shows like a picture of like this dude or skeleton dude being like, "Oh God, I've done it again," and he's surrounded by thousands of shelves or bookshelves or some shit. It's weird. It's like some Google search someone put out there.
Oh, on Google is always some weird shit.
Yeah, somebody Googled, "Why can't I stop building shelves?" or something like that.
Because it's your innate skill. It was the skill that God has handed you. That God handed me the fucking marksman skills. So fucking what? Do I use it? No.
Don't worry, John. I'll give you another skill.
I'm like, that's what I was trained in when I was a kid. Marksman, rifleman. Long range shooting. Even when I play games that involve guns, this is what I prefer.
Well, how about if I can't hit the broadside of a barn?
I'll be saying, I'm like, are you sure you were licensed to use that?
John, I can shoot a gun and it will hit the guy beside me.
I remember that little fucking the GIF we had.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking
Yeah.
the duel.
Jif.
Nah.
Is that peanut butter?
The gift. Yeah, the
They
gift
don't.
we had.
They don't even fucking shoot each other. They don't. They can't even kill each other. They just end up shooting everything fucking around them.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be us. More like you. Me, obviously, they're like, what in the fly? Fuck.
Hey, John, will you stand next to me? I need to do an experiment.
Nope.
Come on.
Get you to do it.
What's the likelihood of a bullet doing a 360-degree
Oh
turn
boy, I'm
and hitting
helping.
you?
Have Q help you with that one. I'm
Oh
not taking that
boy.
risk. I know Q would, but I won't.
But John, I got Tanner right.
I don't care if you got Tanner right. The most best explosives you can play with.
Legally.
Yeah.
John, I got 600 pounds of Tanner right that we're gonna be shooting at.
Shooting up or blowing up?
I
Both?
mean, it's all in one place. So I mean, it's all mixed up in one place inside of a car. So both.
So you want to blow up a car like it's 4th of July?
Yeah, we've also stuck a bunch of fireworks to it. Something good might happen, something bad might happen, who knows?
TNT and that's never a good fucking mixture, but okay.
John, I wanted pretty colors, okay?
Fine, but it ain't my fault if your fucking eyebrows get cinched off.
We're... yeah, it's like, we go, we're half a mile out, we'll be fine.
Fucking boom! Fucking still fucking our fucking eyebrows gone. I'm like, told you. No, never listen to me.
You'd be like, whoa.
Told
that
you
was
it wasn't
cool.
far enough.
Uh-huh.
And you said it'd be fine. Fine. Now I gotta be like a female, wear some makeup because I got no fucking eyebrows.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you'll be fine.
and you'll look like you just saw a rat and your eyebrows arched up so high.
Mm-hmm. They have eyebrow. I bet you can get an eyebrow wig.
Yeah, fake eyebrows that you stick on you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sisters had those before. Especially one of them when she was stupid enough to buzz her eyebrows off and try to draw them back up. Oh, dude. The shit that she got. Cool. I was the one starting it. I'm like, finally something I can do to get back at my sisters because for some reason, they're out school because I'm the oldest one. They'd be in the same school and would run their mouth and talk a lot of schmack and point them my way. And my sisters wonder why I was always semi-mean to them and evil. And despising ways of fucking ending their reign of terror. Well, I was blamed, and accused for all the shit that my sisters would do.
Yeah, same thing with my sister.
I had two of them. They hated my ass because I was the oldest. For some odd reason, they think, oh, because I'm the oldest, I get the most freedom. No, I don't.
Who knows?
The thing's like, oh, the oldest always gets the most and the freedom and of everything. I'm like, to be honest, it's usually the youngest one that gets every fucking thing.
Yeah, the youngest is the most spoiled.
That's why I'm like, usually the youngest that gets everything in the world.
Generally, the rule is the oldest is the smartest.
And
Yeah.
the youngest is
You
usually
see,
the dumbest.
Seth gets a house, but Seth's younger brother gets a hotel to himself, like an entire hotel.
He gets a trailer to himself, not to himself. He gets.
Wait. Your younger brother or older brother?
My older brother has a house. Well, he bought a house. My younger brother's in a trailer waiting for the house prices to go down a little, or the house and building prices to go down a little.
Yeah, he's not the only one. That's why I'm renting a fucking apartment.
Yeah, he's got the
Fucking
land cleared out
idiot.
and everything.
Market
Well,
for houses is just fucking bad.
Yeah, he's wanting to build one.
But what? I don't got the land.
Yeah, we got the land.
I'm like, I've already got the plumbers, but not the carpenters.
He is a plumber, so he's got the plumber.
Yeah, family members from mine. Not only is he do fucking boiler working for fucking the Navy and other things and other plants, but he's a plumber on the side as well. One of my uncles. He's actually the one who taught me a bit of welding. Tack welding and all that.
We can do our own AC for the house, and we can do our own plumbing.
Hey Seth, I'm missing a vertical stabilizer on my plane. Do you think I need that?
How many do you got of those?
One, and it's gone.
You know, I wouldn't do any advanced turns, but other than that, you should be fine.
I've actually been doing light turns.
Yeah, that's good.
I've been doing a ground
Right
strafing.
turn, fucking doing 10 G's.
I accidentally tail striked on the ground by accident when I was pulling up too late, and it tore my vertical stabilizer off because I hit it just right.
And is your tail wagging back and forth concerningly?
Oh no,
Pick it
it's just
up?
completely gone. Oh wait, no, my tail's there. But the vertical stabilizer's completely torn off.
I
There's
know,
no
but
rudder.
is the tail of your plane wagging back and forth concerningly?
No. Well, actually, it looks like it, but it's just an optical illusion.
No, it is wagging back and forth. I've lost my vertical stabilizer a lot. And generally, the first sign that I
you
noticed...
mean the control of the plane? Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, it is rocking left and right a little bit, but I'm mostly keeping it steady.
You're never going to get it perfectly steady, but you'll get close.
Well, I've managed to destroy 3 ground targets doing strafing.
Oh, no, you can keep the track of the plane right.
So,
it's just that the
I was
back
about
end of
to
the
say-
plane...
No, I was saying that I must be doing something right.
It's just the back end of the plane kind of,
I was saying that I must be doing a pretty good job if I didn't crash yet.
As long as you do long sweeping turns, you'll be fine.
Yeah, that's kind of what I've been doing, sort of.
You might want to start heading back home though, because if for
I'm
some reason
landing
you
right
end up,
now, actually.
if for some reason you end up in a dogfight, you're screwed because you're not gonna turn.
Oh, don't worry, I wasn't gonna end up in a dogfight. The only other person on the server besides me in the match is a bomber. He's just bombing, so
Hmm.
I'm perfectly safe.
And flat spinning is incredibly easy without a
Yeah,
vertical stabilizer.
it's hard to notice my tail wagging. I'm in simulator,
Hmm.
so it's hard to tell if the tail is wagging, but I could definitely tell that it's off center. Cause
Oh yeah, yeah, you
I could
can't.
feel it rocking a little bit, but I can't really see it swaying
Yeah,
as
you
easily.
couldn't because you're in first person. Yeah, if you were
But I
in
can
third
tell
person,
though.
yeah, if you were in third person, you could definitely tell and notice it. Just swinging concerningly back and forth. You're just like,
Well,
if that thing does a 360, I'm screwed.
I mean, I can kind of tell, but I'm looking straight forward. I can kind of tell when it's wagging,
Mm-hmm.
wagging his tail up like a big boy.
Mm-hmm.
Buttermilk biscuits. It's a boy dance party. Anyways, John, when I came back and things were finally starting to settle down, um, opening Bombay. Like, totally.
Capable of flying anywhere in the world undetected, the B-2 can arrive over its target, release precision munitions, and escape, confident in the fact that the bombs will hit their targets and that the plane will return home safely. Revolutionary in design and capability, the B-2 represents the culmination of many disciplines and sciences, from aeronautics to stealth to bombing itself. It also has a distinction unshared by any conventional aircraft. For the entirety of its service life, the B-2 has never been detected, targeted, or engaged. The B-2 is flown exclusively by the United States Air Force and is the most sophisticated flying machine in existence. Its creation relied on 100 years of bombing experience, the evolution of computers, radical jumps in engineering science, new approaches to aircraft design, and a new generation of weapons called smart bombs. Among the personalities involved were a visionary American aircraft designer and an unrecognized Soviet physicist. The story of the stealth bomber begins during the first days of bombing. Early World War I bombers were neither purpose-built nor particularly sophisticated. Aviation was in its infancy, and bombs were often carried aloft in the pilot's lap to be tossed by hand at targets on the ground. Technology had advanced by the time World War II began. Faster bombers carried heavier weapons over targets protected by early warning radar, anti-aircraft guns, and high-speed interceptor aircraft. By 1944, two distinct schools of tactical bombing had emerged from the war above Europe. After suffering staggering losses during daylight bombing raids, the British conducted their bombing at night.
And you got
Small bombers called
EO
mosquitoes
on one
would
side,
be
not
launched
the
in
other
the general
side. For
direction
some
of the
reason,
target.
only one side likes
Spitting
to
fire
fucking
from their
smell like
engines,
fucking
the
pig
mosquitoes
shit.
would
The
proceed
other one
without
smells
radio
like
contact or
roses. What the
formation
fuck?
towards the vicinity of the target. Flying high and in the dark, these small bombers were very hard to detect. Far ahead of the main bomber force were bombers designated as pathfinders. These planes were flown by the best navigators in the Royal Air Force. Their mission was to drop incendiary bombs on the target, producing bright flames and creating an easily spotted target for the main bomber force. Bombers would then head toward the fires, drop their bombs, and individually make their escape. This decentralized approach, with British bombers coming from all directions to bomb one target, was difficult to defend against. By contrast, the United States relied on daylight bombing raids consisting of hundreds of bombers in tight formation. The B-17 was an enormous plane, with a crew of 10 and defended by 13 50 caliber machine guns. In fact, the B-17 carried so much weight in machine guns, ammunition, and defensive gunners that its bomb load was the same as that of the two-man Mosquito. Escort planes didn't have the range of bombers, which meant the big planes were usually over targets with little protection. Although gun turrets protruded from every side of the B-17, the slow, tightly packed fleets of bombers proved easy targets for the fast, heavily armed German interceptors. Because they dropped their bombs as one, the bombers flew in complicated formations, designed so that they didn't drop bombs on each other. Advancements in fighter technology, as well as enormous industrial output, were the two factors that allowed the U.S. to turn the tide of the bombing campaign. Under the cover of new escort fighters, the 8th Air Force began launching bomber missions in excess of 1,000 bombers, with 600 escort fighters. British Mosquito bombers suffered a fraction of the losses endured by the B-17s. While the British approach demonstrated how effective bombing could be when utilizing bombers that were difficult to detect, the U.S. would continue to use large bombers in high-altitude formations until the 1960s.
take whole fleets of aircraft to fly over a single factory or a single bridge, dropping tons and tons of bombs with the objective of destroying that one bridge or destroying that one factory.
Following World War II, vast sums of money were spent on bigger, faster bombers with larger payloads. The United States had powerful new weapons and an equally powerful new enemy, the Soviet Union. In the event of an all-out war, the U.S. needed a new bomber that could carry the enormous atom bombs deep into the heart of the USSR. Two radically different designs emerged to answer this call. Built as a flying wing, the YB-49 could carry the same bomb load as a larger bomber, using less power and thus less fuel. Built by visionary aircraft designer Jack Northrop, the all-wing design reduced drag almost completely. Although initial tests were favorable, it was too far ahead of its time. The trim efficiency of the YB-49 lost out to the brute force of the enormous Convair B-36. Powered by 6 massive pusher propellers and 4 jet engines, the B-36 was one of the only aircraft of its day capable of reaching the Soviet Union. Defended by 16 20mm cannon mounted in computer-controlled retractable turrets, the B-36 was the largest, most heavily defended U.S. bomber ever built. Although it required more crew and more fuel than the YB-49, the huge B-36 was an imposing bomber with an enormous 86,000-pound bomb load, 14 times the capacity of the B-17. The B-36's enormous bomb bay made it the only aircraft capable of carrying the newly developed hydrogen bomb. Despite its success as a bomber, the B-36 had been conceived in the early days of World War II. By the early 1950s, as jet fighters and missiles began to appear in the sky, the B-36 became obsolete. As engineers stripped out the B-36's complicated defensive gun turrets, Boeing delivered the B-52. The B-52 became the mainstay of the U.S. Strategic Bombing Force and continues to be a formidable aircraft today. Powered by 8 turbojet engines clustered into 4 pods, the B-52 had ample room along its wings for the newly developed cruise missiles. The wings were swept back like a fighter to reduce drag, and were so long they needed landing gear at the tips. Bombing tactics hadn't changed since World War II. Large fleets of heavy bombers flew in high-altitude formations to targets, released weapons as one, and returned home. Conventional wisdom told military planners that the Soviet Union couldn't engage targets over 50,000 feet. Altitude, not guns, would keep the bomber fleet safe. In 1960, the Soviet Union shot down a U-2 spy plane, which had been flying at 70,000 feet. In the event of an all-out war, a bomber assault at 50,000 feet was doomed. The answer was to fly low and come in under the radar. Limited by terrain and the horizon, ground-based radar detects incoming aircraft in a cone-shaped pattern. The higher an aircraft is, the farther out the radar can detect it. By flying at low altitudes, bombers could delay detection and reach their targets with less resistance. Most U.S. bombers had been designed to penetrate enemy airspace at high altitudes and supersonic speeds, and were completely mismatched for the task of low-level flight. The exception was the B-52. After some minor updates, it proved to be a very stable low-level bombing platform. The new tactics were more successful than high-level bombing had been, but the lumbering bombers still required massive amounts of support and escort planes to successfully complete their missions. In 1972, the U.S. began the Linebacker II bombing raids. Designed to bring the North Vietnamese to the negotiating table, B-52s hammered North Vietnam around the clock for 12 days. The sophistication of Soviet-supplied air defenses in the north meant that over half the planes launched during the bombings were were support or escort planes. Some planes filled the sky with clouds of aluminum strips called chaff that confused ground radar. Other planes, called wild weasels, intentionally drew fire so that they could respond with special missiles designed to home in on defensive radar and surface-to-air missile sites. Based on the scale of the North Vietnamese air defenses, and the fact that the Soviet Union would certainly employ an even more sophisticated system, conventional bombing raids against the Soviet Union appeared impossible with the B-52. A new bomber was needed. The Rockwell B-1 Lancer seemed to be the answer. Designed for supersonic flight at low altitudes, the B-1 was fitted with a special terrain-following radar that maps the ground in front of the plane and lets it fly at less than 100 feet. Although it flew very low and very fast, the B-1 was still susceptible to detection by radar. At the same time as the B-1 was being developed, a small group of scientists was designing a revolutionary aircraft that could not be detected by radar. They called it the Stealth Fighter. The new aircraft could leisurely enter enemy airspace, drop its payload, and exit unharmed. Designed on the limited computers of the early 1970s, the F-117's strange shape allows it to deflect radar signals away from targeting systems, rendering it extremely difficult to detect. Although it can carry only 2 smart bombs, the stealth fighter proved its effectiveness in the early minutes of the 1991 Gulf War, when flights of stealth fighters destroyed Iraq's entire command, control, and missile defense network without being detected or engaged. The next evolution of stealth was called the Advanced Technology Bomber. It incorporated research gleaned from the stealth fighter program, plus numerous new features. These included a decreased radar cross-section, lower acoustic noise, a small visual profile, decreased electromagnetic emissions, and a decreased infrared signature. The official term for all of these features is Low Observable, or LO. Officially unveiled in 1988, the ATB would come to be known as the B-2 Spirit and would enter service in 1993. Nearly impossible to detect, the stealthy B-2 can carry a wide variety of weapons on internal rotating launchers. These launchers let the B-2 carry any combination of cruise missiles, smart bombs, and sea mines. Smart bombs are assigned targets by computer and are guided by satellite, meaning the B-2 can engage as many as 16 different targets simultaneously. Its low observability, mixed with the unique weapon delivery system, means the B-2 can arrive over a target with no warning, release 16 different weapons, destroy 16 different targets, and leave without the enemy knowing what happened. When it rolled onto the tarmac at Palmdale, California, the Flying Wing bomber carried the name of Jack Northrop's company and had exactly the same wingspan as his 1943 bomber, the YB-49. Standing at the podium, the Master of Ceremonies said simply, "Jack Northrop, we salute you." The term for all the things that make the B-2 the stealth bomber is Low Observable, or LO. LO is made up of radar cross-section, infrared signature, appearance, electromagnetic signature, and acoustic signature. Although stealth aircraft seem to be a new invention in air combat, there are many documented attempts at stealth from as early as World War I. The German heavy bomber Linke Hoffmann R-1 had part of its fuselage constructed from transparent Cellon. Although the plane made its debut too late in the war to study its effects, the plane itself represents some forward thinking in the arena of low observable. In 1944, American soldiers discovered the unfinished German Horten HO-9 flying wing bomber. Incorporating a number of forward-thinking features, this LO bomber had jet engines buried in the fuselage, a long exhaust path, a radar-absorbent covering, and a flying wing shape which gave it a diminished radar cross-section. These features would all resurface on the B-2 over 50 years later. An LO bomber that did fly during World War II was the de Havilland Mosquito, which flew only at night. To keep costs down, it was built of balsa wood. While this was viewed as a step backward from the all-metal bombers being produced at the time, the wooden construction reflected less radar energy than aluminum and lent the aircraft a very diminished radar signature. This, combined with its small size, made the Mosquito very difficult to detect. Its overall losses were a fraction of the B-17's. Another approach to avoiding detection was by flying at extremely high altitudes. Built by Lockheed's famed Skunk Works, the U-2 spy plane flew above 60,000 feet, while the SR-71 flew on the edge of space, 95,000 feet, at 3 times the speed of sound. Both aircraft incorporated radar-absorbent coverings and radical designs to reduce their radar cross-sections. The Lockheed Y-03A silent observation plane ignored radar detection altogether. The guerrilla tactics used by the North Vietnamese Army relied on sound to detect approaching enemy aircraft. Although not stealth to radar, an enormous muffler allowed this plane to loiter silently above the jungle treetops for hours, relaying troop and supply movements undetected. Each of these aircraft represents a small step forward in a specific area of low observability. This succession of little steps culminated in the B-2, which is a revolution in all fields of low observability. The most common method of detection is radar, which is an acronym meaning radio detection and range. Radar was developed during World War II as a means for directing and countering aircraft at night. These early radars proved quite useful in defending England from German nighttime bombing raids. The theory is simple. A radar transmitter sends out radar waves which bounce off things and scatter in all directions. Some of the scattered energy is reflected back to the radar site. The reflected radar energy is collected by a receiving antenna. Most modern radar dishes combine the 2 antennae, alternating between transmitting and receiving. Things which reflect radar are called targets. By feeding information about the intensity of the reflection, as well as its angle, into a computer, the location of the target can be plotted. Unfortunately, radar does not necessarily distinguish between types of targets, so it is really only useful for detecting aircraft, where there is nothing else around for the wave to reflect off of. Although less detectable bombers had proven their efficiency in World War II, there was still no scientific method for decreasing an aircraft's radar cross-section. Despite the LO characteristics of U.S. spy planes, the U.S. could not build a stealthy strike aircraft. It was an academic paper from the Soviet Union that would change all this. Pyotr Ufimtsev was an obscure Soviet physicist who just happened to discover the secret of stealth. Ufimtsev published a paper which dealt with determining deflection angles of radar waves. Radar waves behave similarly to light waves. The law of reflection states that a light ray will reflect off of a surface at the same angle at which it encountered the surface. Thus, to get a return, a radar reflection requires a surface that is perpendicular to the incoming wave. A sphere provides the largest radar cross-section because it has an infinite number of tangential surfaces. Thus, the sphere always has a perpendicular side to any angle. While most energy directed at a sphere is deflected, the small amount that is always reflected back makes the sphere detectable from any angle. By contrast, a flat plane is only detectable from a 90-degree angle. At any angle other than dead on, a flat plane will deflect all radar energy away from the radar site. At one angle, the plane presents the largest radar cross-section, but at all others, the smallest. Unfortunately, flat planes are not aerodynamic. For aircraft, the best compromise between the flat plane and the sphere is a curved shape with a variable radius called a continuous curve. This shape allows aerodynamic flow without the sphere's infinite number of tangential surfaces to reflect radar. Inexplicably, the Soviet Union allowed the paper to be published and apparently didn't pursue any sort of stealth aircraft program. An American scientist used Ufimtsev's paper to develop a computer program called Echo-1, which could calculate the radar cross-section of crude shapes. This gave engineers a tool for designing a stealth strike aircraft. Work began in secret to discover ways to manufacture aircraft based on Echo-1 calculations. The lack of computing power in the 1960s and 70s meant that Echo-1 couldn't calculate the radar cross-section of curved shapes. The curved designs of the SR-71 and U-2, which had reduced radar cross-sections, had been obtained largely by accident. The restrictions of those early computers meant the first stealth aircraft would have to be built out of flat planes. Flat planes present a design challenge because they are not aerodynamic, and if perpendicular to a radar site, they are extremely detectable. Designers determined that the biggest threat to strike aircraft is ground-based radar. As a result, the stealth fighter was designed specifically to deflect radar waves coming from below the aircraft. The result was the F-117, the first aircraft to carry the unofficial designation stealth. Advances in computer technology and research into stealth would eventually allow the computation of official designation stealth. Advances in computer technology and research into stealth would eventually allow the computation of continuous curved shapes for reflecting radar, which would ultimately yield the flying wing-shaped B-2.
The shape of the B-2 is basically designed so that it minimizes the amount of radar that can be returned to the original source. And by, unlike the 117, which uses faceting to redirect the radar, it either absorbs it or in some cases it redeflects it a different direction.
Like the F-117, the B-2's shape was designed from the beginning to reduce radar. Unlike the F-117, however, the B-2 deflects radar from any angle.
The primary reason it's shaped the way it is to help deflect the radar away from the originating source. So once the radar beam hits the B-2, it's actually deflected into another area where the originating radar is not, so that it doesn't pick up the signal that it sent out. Therefore, it's stealthy.
The B-2 also makes full use of radar absorbent materials, or RAM.
RAM is basically radar absorbing material, so it does actually absorb the radar waves, keeping them from reflecting off of the aircraft.
Although the true composition of RAM is secret, it's likely it is made of lossy materials that contain free electrons which, when bombarded by radar waves, vibrate and convert the radar energy into heat. The result is that radar energy is dispersed across the skin of the B-2, rather than being reflected back to enemy radar sites.
RAM can be a number of things, to the way the aircraft is constructed and how those materials fit together and interact with each other, to a single layer of coating that we apply to the aircraft.
English and American scientists developed RAM during World War II, although they didn't quite realize its potential. Designed to deflect and absorb radar, RAM is an important element in modern stealth aircraft. But during World War II, RAM was applied to submarine periscopes and in radar testing facilities. In a few cases, the antennae on ships were coated with RAM to prevent them from being detected as targets by the ship's own radar. but RAM was never applied to aircraft. To further reduce the B-2's detectability, other elements of LO are implemented. To reduce the noise of the B-2, the engines are buried deep within the airframe, turning the body of the plane into a gigantic muffler. Next to radar, the heat signature of an aircraft is the easiest to detect.
Heat is used in a combat situation primarily to defeat an aircraft through its exhaust, and as an aircraft is flying through the air, it also generates a heat signature. A lot of modern missiles and can pick up on those heat signatures and use those to target a vehicle. Therefore, we try to defeat that as a means of detection as well.
Although the skin of an aircraft may not be hot, the boiling air produced by the engine's exhaust creates a contrail, which acts like a beacon. To correct the heat problem, the B-2 incorporates a long exhaust path, heat-absorbing tiles, and a dual air intake system. Below the main engine air intakes are smaller bypass intakes. The air from these intakes is diverted around the engine and mixed with the hot engine exhaust. Once this mixed air leaves the engines, it passes over heat-absorbing tiles. These same tiles are used on the space shuttle to protect it from the intense friction in the atmosphere on re-entry. The exhaust path is long and above the wing. It's not visible from the ground. The result is that the air behind the aircraft, as visible from the ground, is much cooler than when it comes out of the engine and produces no contrail. Although its existence is unknown, the B-2 may make use of a radical new technology known as radar-absorbent structures. If radar-absorbent material is a sponge for soaking up radar energy, radar-absorbent structures are a vacuum. A radar-absorbent structure is based around a hollow structure, most likely a honeycomb. The open sides of the honeycomb face out on the aircraft and are covered with the aerodynamic radar-absorbent material. Radar waves strike the ram, but instead of being dispersed, most of the energy is transmitted through the ram and into the honeycomb. Inside, the radar bounces off the inside of the honeycomb, which is coated with ram. Each deflection decreases the radar's energy somewhat. Even if the radar could get a solid reflection, the end of the structure is blocked by the outer ram coating, trapping the radar energy inside.
It's a living, breathing aircraft. It sweats. Moisture and other things develop inside the aircraft. Anything that develops inside the structure of the aircraft comes out through the weep holes. And so there are little tiny holes in the airplane that allow moisture and other things that develop inside the wing to come out. It maintains the structural integrity of the aircraft.
The result is that the radar energy is completely absorbed into the structure of the aircraft, and absolutely no reflection is possible. Although there is no proof that radar-absorbent structures exist, if they do, the B-2 may very well be completely invisible to radar. This represents what is known about the B-2's stealth design and capabilities. What truly lies beneath the skin of the B-2 will likely remain classified for a long time to come. When air approaches a wing, it is forced in two directions, up and down. This creates a high-pressure area above the forward portion of the wing and below the wing. As the wing slopes away, a low-pressure area is formed above the remainder of the wing. This low-pressure area lifts the wing up. In addition, the high pressure below the wing pushes it up.
It's all about lift and drag. An airplane has wings, and what those are, another word for them is airfoils. As air travels over the wing, it creates a pressure differential between the top of the wing and the bottom of the wing. And what that produces is lift, as the low pressure seeks the high pressure area.
Traditionally shaped aircraft have two large wings supporting a central fuselage, stabilized at the rear with a horizontal stabilizer, and a vertical stabilizer, or tail. Although advances in computer technology have allowed the fuselage to be more efficient, it still produces a great deal of drag. This drag not only decreases performance in terms of speed, it also requires large wings and engines burning lots of fuel to lift it off the ground and to keep it there. The reduction of fuselage drag, combined with an overall increase in lift, is the flying wing's primary advantage. The flying wing is also called a lifting body because the body of the plane does just that.
The advantages to the wing design, to the flying wing design over a traditional aircraft is the replacement of that fuselage with more wing. So that creates a bigger surface area of wing, which translates into more lift.
Instead of the traditional arrangement, the entire volume of the aircraft is contained within the wing. This eliminates fuselage drag and vastly increases overall lift. The difficulty with flying wings has always been stability. Jack Northrop's flying wing was notoriously dangerous, and in theory, all flying wings share the same inherent risks. A flying wing is stable in terms of pitching up or down, or banking left or right. What the flying wing does not inherently counteract is yaw. Yaw is the tendency of a plane to fishtail left or right. On traditional aircraft, the horizontal and vertical stabilizers are mounted on the tail of the plane, placing a great deal of control at the end of what is essentially a long lever. A flying wing doesn't have this lever, and thus control surfaces must be far more complex. To compound the control complications on the B-2, there are no vertical surfaces whatsoever. Northrop's YB-49 and XB-35 both had vertical stabilizers. The B-2, however, does not have this luxury. Most bombers have enormous tails, which act like billboards when struck by radar waves. Instead, the B-2 controls its roll, pitch, and yaw, all with the same set of complex control flaps on the rear of the wing.
For everyone who's seen a B-2, the one thing that you notice right off the bat that's missing is that vertical tail, the vertical stabilizer. Without computers, there's no way we could fly the B-2. The computers actually sense the environment around the aircraft as well as the pilot's inputs and keep the aircraft going.
Flight control computers sense the air loads using things like those air data ports over there that sense static pressure and aerodynamic pressures on the aircraft, what its angle of attack is, what its side slip. All those inputs go into a flight control computer. The flight control computer then makes adjustments to the flight controls faster than the pilot could by hand, enabling the flight control computers really produce that stability that we lost with the tail.
The outermost control surfaces on the B-2 are the rudders, which also function as brakes. Twin flaps move in conjunction to make the bomber yaw left or right. When the flaps on both sides are extended both up and down, they act as a speed brake. These flaps aren't effective when fully closed, so during normal flight, they're left slightly open. This does increase the radar signature, and during combat operations, the B-2 is flown with the rudders fully closed. Moving inboard from the rudders is where the elevons are located. Elevons are a combination of ailerons and elevators. Ailerons and elevators control the pitch and roll of an aircraft. On most planes, the ailerons are located on the trailing edges of the wings, while the elevators are located on the horizontal stabilizer. The ailerons act in opposite directions of one another to roll the airplane, while the elevators act together to pitch the plane up or down. On the B-2, the elevons perform both functions through combinations of movement. If all the elevons pitch up or down, the aircraft will pitch in the opposite direction. If the left elevons pitch up, while the right elevons pitch down, the bomber will roll to the left, and vice versa. The coordination of all these flaps is the job of an amazing technology known as fly-by-wire.
Fly-by-wire takes inputs from the pilot and other aircraft sensors, feeds them into a series of computers, which then produce an output to a hydraulic actuator, which moves the flight controls for us.
Because the computer's job is to make the aircraft perform according to the pilot's controls, any external forces that act on the aircraft, such as wind gusts, are counteracted automatically by the computer. This allows the B-2 and other fly-by-wire aircraft to maintain the traditional controls and maneuvers common to all aircraft, despite its radical design. The radical design of the B-2 represents a step forward in all arenas of aircraft design. The result of fly-by-wire is that while pilots compare flying a B-52 to driving a bus, the B-2 handles more like a sports car. The B-2's mission is to penetrate heavily defended areas, drop precision-guided munitions, and extract itself without ever being detected.
That'd be the ultimate capability, to be able to go in undetected and leave undetected. However, there's one unique aspect of all bombers. If you're going in, you're more than likely going in to drop something. So right off the bat, as soon as bombs start going off, someone's going to know there's an aircraft in the sky. So as you're leaving the country, really what you're looking for now is that ability to sneak back out of the country.
The power of stealth was demonstrated fully in the 1991 Gulf War. F-117A Nighthawk strike aircraft destroyed military targets deep in the heart of Baghdad without ever being detected. At the time, Baghdad had the most sophisticated grid of interlocking defensive and anti-aircraft radar systems ever fielded. During the course of the war, F-117 aircraft engaged targets in Iraq 1,271 times and lost 0 aircraft. This was due almost entirely to F-117's stealthy radar cross-section. That the B-2 has an even smaller radar cross-section with less detectable LO characteristics, paired with a bomb capacity 8 times that of the F-117, is a testament to its potential.
The B-2 is a stealth aircraft. It's designed to basically kick down the door to open up that entryway for other aircraft.
Any B-2 mission begins with planning. Positions of known radar sites, as well as any missile sites and intercept aircraft, have to be plotted. The B-2 deflects some radar and absorbs some radar, but it's not impervious. For this reason, B-2 pilots must determine the best route through known radar positions, known as the corridor.
The B-2 enables us to pull the wool over the enemy's eyes and significantly darken his view. So with that in mind, there may be advantages to making different turns and going different directions en route to the target with the bomber to enable us to accomplish the mission.
The amount of radar an aircraft reflects is called its radar cross-section, or RCS. As aircraft approach radar sites, they encounter more radar energy, which increases RCS. This means that an aircraft which is undetectable at long range becomes detectable at close range. Defensive radar networks are set up around strategic areas using multiple radar sites. The size of an aircraft's radar cross-section and its proximity to the radar site determines when it can be detected. All of this is taken into consideration so that the individual radar site zones of detection overlap, effectively creating a wall of radar. Because the B-2's radar cross-section is so much smaller than all other military aircraft, it can only be detected at extremely close range. Thus, the overlapping zones of radar which detect all other aircraft are useless against the B-2, and the radar wall develops holes through which the B-2 slips. Once over the target, the B-2 releases bombs which are individually targeted and self-guided.
Typically, if we knock the door down, we go in first and lead the way for other aircraft with a larger radar signature to come in and strike targets to drop those unguided weapons.
Thus, the B-2 can arrive over its target unannounced, release fire-and-forget weapons, and leave craters as the only evidence of its presence. It is only fitting that the most sophisticated bomber on Earth carries the world's most sophisticated arsenal. The B-2 can carry anywhere from 80 500-pound bombs to 8 5,000-pound bunker busters. Other options include sea mines, stealthy cruise missiles, and just about everything in between. The crown jewel in the B-2's arsenal is the 2,000-pound JDAM. JDAM stands for Joint Direct Attack Munition, but it's commonly shortened to Smart Bomb. The JDAM comes in a variety of weights, from 250 pounds to 5,000 pounds, although each variant has the same basic purpose: to deliver a high-powered explosive punch with pinpoint accuracy every time. A JDAM is made from a free-fall bomb, a strake assembly which adds stability, and a tail cone which contains satellite guidance equipment and the fins which steer the bomb. JDAMs can be programmed on the ground before they are loaded into the B-2, or they can be reprogrammed in flight to accommodate changing target conditions. The B-2 carries its weapons in a manner different from most other bombers, where B-17s and the original B-52s carried their bombs stacked in racks to be released en masse. The B-2 uses a rotary launch assembly. When the pilot wants to drop a bomb, the bomb bay doors open. The assembly rotates to the correct position and drops the requested bomb. This allows the B-2 to carry different types of munitions, or bombs programmed for specific targets in the same bomb bay, and provides a connection between smart bombs and the B-2's computers. In the air, the B-2's onboard computers and the computers in the JDAM are linked, providing the smart bomb with up-to-the-minute information about target position and weather. During the B-2's 40-hour flight, targets may move, winds may shift, or storms may move in. The JDAM uses this information to correct its course and to assure maximum impact with minimal civilian casualties. The strake assembly and tail fins on the JDAM act like wings, giving it a gliding range of just under 8 miles. All the B-2 must do is pass within 8 miles of its target, and the JDAM will take care of the rest. Once the JDAM is released from the B-2, its guidance is internal. An extremely accurate satellite guidance receiver in the tail homes the JDAM in on its target. If the satellite guidance fails, the JDAM has an inertial guidance system backup. Accurate to within inches, it is the same system used on U.S. submarines for navigation. The most common load on the B-2 is 16 2,000-pound JDAMs. New technology called the Smart Bomb Rack Assembly will allow the B-2 to carry 80 smaller 500-pound JDAMs. This is over 4 times its previous capacity. Missions that would have required 5 B-2 flights now only require 1, because for most targets, the 500-pound bomb is just as effective as the 2,000-pound bomb. The B-2 carries many other amazing weapons, including the AGM-158 stealth cruise missile. Angular in shape, the 158 is nearly invisible to radar. The 5,000-pound bunker buster is a variant of the JDAM, designed to penetrate deep into the earth and release a devastating explosion. From 500-pound smart bombs to stealth cruise missiles, the B-2 has the versatility to carry just about any weapon, anywhere on Earth, and deliver it with precision accuracy every time. The B-2 bomber has proven its effectiveness time and again. Through its use of low observability and smart weapons, the B-2 can engage targets with more accuracy, less civilian damage, and more safety for the pilots than any other aircraft
something out of a science fiction film. Fighter jets that use stealth technology. Their design renders them virtually invisible to enemy radar. In a battle situation, this invisibility cape would lend them a decisive edge.
It looks like a Decepticon.
They sneak up to the enemy in order to destroy it. And it's not just aircraft. Modern battleships also use stealth technology to remain undetected. The Eurofighter Typhoon is also a master of disguise.
I'm a test pilot, and this is my workplace.
The Eurofighter sports a very small radar cross-section. Seeing and being seen can spell the difference between victory and defeat. For the military, stealth technology promises to fulfill the age-old dream of invisibility. But anti-stealth technology is still advancing. The race to stay under the radar is heating up. Camouflage and speed are vital.
It's like driving a sport car.
We will deliver success.
How can a ship escape detection on the high seas? In 1917, during World War I, the artist Norman Wilkinson developed a form of camouflage for the British Navy. Geometric patterns and bright colors helped break up the ship's form. Radar hadn't been invented yet, but camouflage made it difficult for German submarines to detect the distance and course of British ships. Modern technology requires far more sophisticated camouflage. The USS Zumwalt destroyer is one of the world's most modern battleships and draws heavily on stealth technology. Carbon fiber composites, special paint, and the battleship's unique design help scatter enemy radar. The ship is named after Admiral Elmo R. Zumwalt, who served in the U.S. Navy during the Second World War. In the Vietnam War, he was the highest-ranking naval officer.
It's a stealth destroyer, so this ship is designed to be hard to detect. The ship has a radar cross-section 1/50th of its previous classes of destroyers. Previous class of destroyers have about 300 sailors, so we have about half the number of sailors running a ship that's 1.5 times the size.
The first section of the Zumwalt was laid down in 2011. 5 years and $4 billion later, it went into service. The Zumwalt is the lead ship in a new class of destroyer, but due to construction costs, the planned fleet was cut from 32 ships to just 3. Sloping sides and sharp angles make for a striking appearance. All of the equipment and weaponry is under the hull. This helps minimize the ship's radar signature. The destroyer can reach a speed of 30 knots and is very agile. With its stealth technology, the Zumwalt looks like a small fishing boat on an enemy radar screen.
It's a stealth destroyer, so this ship is designed to be hard to detect, both from a radar cross-section perspective, from acoustics, the sound that goes in the water, and that provides this ship an advantage out there, potentially during combat operations, to be a much harder vessel to detect, to track, and potentially attack. It's also a very survivable vessel, and we have a lot of automated systems on the ship to combat fires, flooding, and other damage. The other thing that makes it very unique is its integrated power system. We produce 78 megawatts of power, and that 78 megawatts of power then can be used for our propulsion, all of our weapons and sensors on the ship, and have power to spare for potentially opportunity for the weapons and sensors of the future.
Under the hull, the destroyer resembles a floating city. Along with a fully equipped medical facility, it also sports a hair salon and gym. On a mission lasting several months, the crew needs to stay fit and keep their spirits up. A bit of privacy also makes a difference.
There's 3 things it takes to be a sailor on Zumwalt, and it's a high level of technical expertise, great teamwork, happily sharing the burdens with one another. Big ship, lots of new equipment and technology. We have to happily share the burdens with one another or we won't get the job done. And then toughness. It has taken a great deal of mental, physical toughness, you know, to get through what we've had to get through over the last 3 years to get this ship ready to go.
A training exercise is underway. The Zumwalt is docked. In this scenario, an unidentified object has appeared in the vicinity. In August 2000, the USS Cole was attacked during refueling in Yemen's Aden Harbor. 17 sailors were killed. Battleships are especially vulnerable to attack in foreign harbors. From a special ramp, a small boat descends to the water. The sailors investigate the unidentified object.
The boat is amazing. It's much more maneuverable than the standard 7-meter that, you know, Arleigh Burkes and the cruisers are using and most other ships. And its versatility is amazing, and the speed is great. It's nothing better than doing 40 knots in a small boat on the water, you know.
The object is quickly located and identified. The speedboat crew
Hey,
return
Seth,
to the
what's up?
destroyer. Training exercises like these are a frequent event. They help ensure that the crew will respond quickly and correctly should the need arise.
I had the opportunity to observe my sailors operating the ship, driving the ship, operating the bridge control console, and it was really marvelous how quickly, after a year plus for many of these folks, standing a pre-commissioning unit duty in a building, how quickly they snapped into a seagoing mode of operations, you know, how quickly old habits came back, and really how well this ship handled and performed out there.
Along with guided missiles, the destroyer is also fitted with two 155mm naval guns. Their barrels are only extended in battle, since they would otherwise be too visible on radar systems. The guns fire a special type of rounds and have a reach of 160 kilometers with deadly precision. A new generation of gun, the railgun, is being tested. An electrical current flows through two parallel rails to generate a magnetic field, which launches a high-velocity projectile. They have a range of 350 kilometers and can reach speeds of up to 9,000 kilometers per hour. The railgun system could even be suited to intercept cruise missiles or intercontinental ballistic missiles.
Operation failed. Return to base.
The stealth destroyer has a pared-down crew of only 158, the result of a high level of automation. But preparing meals is still a daunting task. The menu is varied. Good food helps boost morale and troop readiness. The destroyer is so stealthy that during peacetime activities, it's fitted with special radar reflectors that allow it to be detected by other ships. The USS Zumwalt has launched a new era for the U.S. Navy. It's become the prototype for a new generation of stealth battleships. The Nevada Desert in the southwestern United States is home to Nellis Air Force Base. A B-2 Spirit is arriving for routine maintenance. The strategic stealth bomber is designed to deploy conventional and thermonuclear weapons. The Spirit was designed to penetrate undetected into Soviet airspace to release its nuclear payload during the Cold War. It still ranks as the world's most expensive fighter jet. 21 of them were built. As a mainstay of the American nuclear deterrence arsenal, they're ready to be deployed around the clock. The maintenance work is meticulous. Even minute damage to the hull could render the bomber visible to enemy radar. Afterwards, the bomber is refueled. It has to be ready for deployment as quickly as possible.
I feel like there's a certain amount of prestige being assigned to a B-2. There's only about 20 of them. So you being a DCC, a ADCC of one of those is very, very rare, and it's a good honor to be chosen to be one of those, to crew one of these jets.
To facilitate maintenance, the various components of the bomber are situated so that they can be easily accessed through the cockpit or the bomb bays. The aircraft is designed much like one big wing. The lack of sharp angles helps confound enemy radar. The unique design also helps reduce drag, much like a bird in flight. The designers paid special attention to the area near the four engines. The engines are located deep under the hull. Their exhaust gases are cooled to decrease the aircraft's infrared footprint. Two spindles are located inside the bomb bays. They can carry up to 80 laser-controlled bombs with a total weight of up to 18 tons.
It makes everybody scared. When we take off, it's a big deal. Anywhere we go, it's a big deal. So in that aspect, it's a very scary jet.
The B-2 represents a quantum leap in aerial warfare. Even today, the bomber stands out for its futuristic design and for its ability to emerge seemingly out of nowhere and attack without warning. The development of stealth aircraft got its start in the 1960s. The CIA demanded a new spy plane that would be invulnerable to attack when penetrating Soviet airspace. The result was the A-12 and its successor, the SR-71 Blackbird. The reconnaissance aircraft could operate at great altitude and penetrate enemy airspace at 3 times the
Set you
speed
there.
of sound.
More or less.
Well, you still want to
The
do
crew
stuff?
wore special pressure suit and
Okay.
flight helmet.
I was
The flight
halfway
suits were
taking a nap,
designed for
though.
use in aircraft that flew
Oh.
at great heights for long periods. They provided warmth and oxygen and offered protection
So you
against
gonna lay
low
down?
atmospheric pressure.
I was laying down.
Oh. Did that wake you up?
I have no idea. That's a complete mystery to me.
The SR-71 had 2 crew
You're
members,
free to join me in this
a
game.
pilot and a reconnaissance officer.
Yeah, in just a
Painted
sec.
black, the Blackbird was
I'm about to
worthy
shoot
of
this
its name.
American plane
It
down
featured
for being
smooth, tapered
American.
lines. Sharp edges and angles were kept to a minimum. The surface design allowed the aircraft to
I'm just
avoid
playing
reflecting
around.
radar signals.
If I shot you
This
down for
novel
being
stealth technology
Japanese
served
or
as the springboard for
German.
later developments.
That's rude.
The reconnaissance plane penetrated the stratosphere, operating at altitudes of some 20,000 meters. Despite successful weapons testing, the SR-71 served exclusively as a spy plane, remaining in operation for nearly
That
3
wasn't that
decades.
long,
In the
for
late
sure.
1990s, the SR-71 program was retired.
But it's one hell of a catnap.
Thought it was
Fighters
not
at the
long.
time could go about Mach 2.
That's what you
This
call
could go
a
Mach 3.
Mm.
It could fly incredibly
Just a little
high.
quick nap.
Now, there were aircraft that could
I
reach
had myself
the height
muted
of
and
the
I was just like,
SR-71, but only in a zoom
night,
climb and
night.
only temporarily, whereas the SR-71
That's
could
me too,
fly
because
at level
after a
attitude
while,
at
especially
80,000
time,
feet or higher. There was
I
no
don't
other
want people
aircraft
to
at the
hear
time
me
that could
go-
do that. It was a magnificent platform. It was
It's me really
untouchable.
starting to doze
Speed
off.
in the
It's me hearing
1960s
myself starting to
was
snore.
what stealth is
Yeah, I
today.
was watching YouTube
Speed
on
was
my
survivability. In fact, the
screen
best way
and
for an
bed's
SR-71
just right in
to
front
deal
of
with
my,
a surface air missile
I
shot
don't know,
at it
the
was
sides I
just
was
simply
able to
to
work
speed up.
YouTube and just listen. I was like, and I'm out.
An SR-71 flew from
Off to
Los
school,
Angeles
from-
to DC
Yep.
in just a little over an hour. Now imagine, in that amount of time, one would drive to the airport and maybe get your bags checked in, and this airplane flew from coast to coast in a little over an hour. Originally, when the SR-71 was developed, there was the possibility
it's
that it could
almost
be used
11
over
o'clock
China
at night.
or even over the
There's supposed to
Soviet
be
Union,
people
and the
out
SR-71
outside fucking,
could go get photographs
well, they're not outside,
and intelligence
they're at the,
information
the hot
that was
tubs.
desperately needed, but
Oh,
that
you guys
no
got hot
other
tubs?
aircraft and no other Air
Departments,
Force could
yes,
get.
they got the indoor hot tubs.
Well, you use them, John.
In the early 1980s, the U.S.
I-
Air Force launched the world's first
Why
stealth
would I
fighter
want
jet.
to use something
The
there's a bunch
F-117A
of kids
Nighthawk
use as a
represented a
normal
milestone in
tool
the
and
development of stealth
use it 'cause a
technology.
bunch of kids?
It flew
In
successful
there?
missions in the first
Oh,
Gulf War.
I
but the
can't really
aircraft
trust
proved
the
difficult to
sanitation
handle.
of that.
Its design required a computer-controlled
Yeah,
flight
you and your
system
dog
for
could go in
stability.
there.
The program was allowed to expire after a Nighthawk was shot down over Kosovo.
Nah.
The F-117 proved
I
unsuited
tried
for
that
regular
shit, he'd be
aerial
like,
combat.
nope. I'm gonna claw the fuck out of your face and
Major
everything else.
downside
Get the fuck away
of
from
designing
me.
an aircraft very specifically
Yeah, at
for
that
high
point I'd
stealth
say a
in
cat
one
would be
area
more
is that
painful
you
than a
then
dog
give up
scratch.
capability on that aircraft.
I know a dog's
in
pretty
many
big,
other
but
areas.
cat.
The F-22
mean?
Raptor also gives
Yeah.
primacy of place to stealth
That
technology.
kind of hurts. They decide it's claw time.
Though a masterwork of technology,
Probably
the
because they're
stealth fighter
smaller.
also had
They're
significant
smaller,
flaws,
and that makes
which
it
contributed to an
more.
accident that cost the
True.
life of a pilot.
Because it's cutting something very, very sensitive.
Alaska,
Yeah, and
November 16th,
cat's nails are
2010.
more sharper than a
A
dog's.
training flight with 3
No, yeah, that is
F-22
also very
pilots
true.
was on
Cats
the
like
agenda. Jeffrey
ride
Haney, one of the
their
most
nails.
experienced U.S. Air Force fighter
So
pilots,
sharp
took
that
the
they
helm
will
of one
cut
of the
through your
jets.
flesh in seconds.
By then, numerous
Or
pilots
literally
had
just
reported problems with the
claw
oxygen
the
supply.
claws right into you
During
just to
flight
hang off of your
preparations,
ass.
nothing appeared amiss.
Oh yeah, that happens too. I mean, it's understandable if they're falling and they get scared.
The training exercise included
Nobody
engaging
don't, you know,
targets on the ground
Get
and
angry
an
at the cat
aerial
for that. I'm like,
refueling.
okay, whatever.
Or than the fact that the cat decides to start clawing.
Aerial
just to
refueling is a
climb up
routine
you.
maneuver.
Yeah.
With pressure
yeah,
refueling,
I don't
a
like
tanker
that, no.
aircraft can transfer some 3,000
They don't get
liters
to get
of
away
fuel
with
per
that.
minute. Refueling
They
an
get to get
F-22
away
in less
with
than 3 minutes.
getting scared and falling on me. I mean, you know, scratching
After
me, but that's
refueling,
it.
the group was supposed to continue their mission over Alaska.
I'd be like,
Until that point,
Ben,
everything
because
had
you
gone
got some
smoothly.
cats that aren't afraid of water and all that shit, so.
I have a cat that is fascinated with water, but
But then Haney's aircraft plummeted to the ground. The ejection seat was not activated.
So, use
During
water,
the accident
bring a water
investigation,
bottle or something like
questions were raised about the aircraft's oxygen supply system.
Can't go into the real details. They did a thorough investigation of some of the life support
I
systems
used to be afraid of those
in
things.
there,
No,
and
I
some
usually-
minor
I'm just gonna
modifications
chew
within
them
the
up.
cockpit.
I'll find them.
The
Afraid of
F-22
what?
claimed the life of Jeffrey Haney.
Spray bottles.
After the incident,
Of the
all
dog-
F-22s
oh,
were fitted with new sensors and a new oxygen system,
You
designed
stupid.
to protect pilots from sudden loss of
You used to be
consciousness.
afraid of them.
I know.
A new backup
That's what I
oxygen
was
supply
saying.
system
Those
was
things
also
just eat
incorporated.
Yeah, I know. That's why I
The
said that
F-22's
sucks.
life support systems
'Cause it's
were fully
normally good if
overhauled.
they're, you know.
The Raptor had
My
been
dog
grounded
doesn't
for
like water
several
at all,
months
but
when it
if
was
you try to
returned to
spray him,
service
he'll
for a
try to
nighttime
take it
mission.
and eat it.
The pre-flight examination
Why
was
I don't
especially
spray him
through.
anymore.
The cockpit was
The
also
only sprays I
overhauled
have
to
is,
improve pilot
spraying the
safety.
carpet, rotorizers and shit like that.
The Raptor was the first stealth plane that succeeded in
How he
combining
hates
stealth
fucking
technology
things
with
this way,
outstanding
all the
agility.
fucking time. Even though
It's
literally
the
you
master
take
of the
him
skies,
outside
twice as fast as the speed
right
of
after
sound,
you clean
nimble,
up and all that
and
shit,
fearsome in battle.
just to make sure you know this motherfucker is empty, and he will still behind your ass go back inside and squeeze one out.
Despite further technological advances and
When I say
many
squeeze, I'm
successful
like, it's not the
missions,
normal
production of the
turds.
F-22
You know
Raptor
when
was
you
halted
squeeze
in
it because
2011
it's
due
all
to soaring
lengthening and
costs.
shit. Dude, really? My dog sounds like he does not like anything that smells good.
The Eurofighter
Don't know
Typhoon
why.
is a true all-rounder and has been a mainstay of the German Air Force for more than a decade.
Well,
the Typhoon is a twin-engine multi-role fighter that was developed by a multinational collaboration between Germany, Italy, Spain, and the UK. Originally intended as an air superiority aircraft to defuse the threat from the nations of the Warsaw Pact, the aircraft took on new duties after the Cold War. The Typhoon's flexible design allows it to be quickly adapted to different mission scenarios, including surveillance and combat missions against a variety of ground targets.
I got the number to my psychiatrist.
The aircraft is
and shit like
equally
that,
suited
but
for high and low altitude operation.
Stealth is a way of being able to do what you want to do without being detected while you're doing it. The issue with stealth is that we're able to provide a stealthy aircraft, but only within a certain area of observability. There are other ways of observing the same aeroplane. And so from that point of view, a stealthy aircraft may be harder to observe in a certain radar band. But if you change the radar band to a longer wavelength, then you can see the aircraft. If you look for the heat of that aircraft, you will be able to see him even though he may be radar low observable.
More than 500 Eurofighters have already gone into service. The aircraft can go twice the speed of sound, but its delta wings and its small forewings, called canards, make it exceptionally agile. As a result, the Eurofighter is able to outmaneuver state-of-the-art fighter jets. In a simulated dogfight against 2 American F-15 Eagles, the Typhoon emerged the victor.
With regard to stealth, then the Eurofighter Typhoon aims not to fall into the trap of those performance shortfalls from being very specifically stealthy for a certain area. What the Eurofighter Typhoon has aimed to do all the way through is to maintain a balance of capabilities. We are less observable than previous generations of aircraft. The aircraft is made out of a carbon fiber composite structure, which reflects less radar energy. A specific stealthy aircraft cannot have external stores that would reflect the radar energy. You have to make sure that all of your weapons and all of your fuel is carried inside the aeroplane.
Most of the Eurofighter Typhoon's weapons systems are carried outside the airplane, but that doesn't pose an obstacle.
That being said, it was cooler today.
My name is
because it
Giri
rained,
Kleinbuhl. I'm a test pilot, and this is my workplace.
and by rained, I mean thunderstorms. And by thunderstorm, I mean
we're in front of a
the fire
Eurofighter
out of me because the
Typhoon.
lightning strike was
Let's take a
very
look.
close.
Yes, yes.
This is the Taurus. It's a cruise missile, as the Americans would call it.
The Eurofighters deployed the cruise missiles hundreds of kilometers from their target. But the Taurus cruise missiles also incorporate stealth technology. Eluding enemy radar, they reach their target undetected. The Taurus has a range of at least 350 kilometers.
Sounds and
Each
everything,
missile
and I
costs
jump that out
900,000
my
euros.
It does.
Like, wow! We have another weapon for short-haul routes.
He just
I didn't even see no flash because the fact that it was close to the building and probably due to where my window is at.
Yeah, it's close to the building, but not. Yeah, it's close to the building, but it's the flash is not visible.
As soon as the pilot identifies a threat, the Iris-T
What the
springs
fuck
into
was
action.
that? Yeah, you're just sitting there playing. It's even better when you're sitting there half asleep, like.
When other aircraft detect us,
and now, like,
we want
I'm
to
awake,
confuse
I'm
them.
awake. I'm like,
We do that by firing off towed decoys, which send out fake radar signals.
And then you
Those
start getting
signals
sleepy
then
again.
confuse any incoming guided missiles.
It does it.
Windows.
Yeah, it's like.
The towed decoy
Okay,
casts
it's
a
just
large
thunder.
radar cross-section.
It's just thunder.
making
Now,
an
now it
attractive
can't
target.
scare me again. Now I know.
There are 4
Most of
components
the
of
time,
stealth technology.
Like, it
The
looks
first
like it's
is
gonna
visual,
be like
the
a
aircraft's
normal straight
appearance.
out, your normal
Is it
typical
large? Is it
thunderstorm,
small?
rain, lightning,
The
and
second
shit.
is, what does its heat emission profile look like? A hot aircraft is one you can